I've crossed Nevada on Highway 50 several times in a car, and I have long wondered about the hidden mysteries concealed in the mountains lying south on Highway 50. What kind of treasures are unseen in these secret canyons? Time to find out. Alright, time to get started. Janet's packing the food, which we don't have much of left, even though it's only been 3 days. But we got 2 more to go till we get our resupply at Ikes. Before we leave here, I thought I'd record a little video of the sounds that we got to listen to last night. It's pretty peaceful here. Pretty amazing for the middle of the desert. Probably looks warm out here, but it's actually 34 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Pretty chilly. Well, it looks like we have to say goodbye to this nice dirt road and go this way. This is the stuff they call bug dust. Not sure why they call it bug dust, except that it maybe bugs the crap out of you and is bad for your chain. You have to lube your chain every day with this stuff. So I lubed the chain again. It's running okay. As you can see, it's still kind of stiff and really dirty. We're just encountering so much dust that I'm having to lube the chain a ton. This right here is what bug dust does to your leg. You can imagine what it does to your bicycle components, but fortunately we brought a little extra water, and this device screws onto the top of a water bottle, and actually it doubles over as a tire inflator, which I hope I don't have to show you. But as a shower, I just plug up this end with a binder clip, and then the water comes out through here, through this little spigot. So it's pretty simple, works. So I think this might be what the wildlife guy was referring to as a guzzler. I'm not sure. But as you can see, we came here hoping that we might find some water. Actually, when we arrived, there was a whole ton of pronghorn antelope, and those horses were here. We scared them away. But this thing is pretty much dry for all intents and purposes. Alright, now we're bearing down on the so-called Antelope Valley rainwater cache. I know this video is so much about water, but that's what's important when you're out in the desert. Plus we kind of want to see it, if it exists, even if it's dry. We think it's kind of dry, but we'll see. We thought this might not pan out. We looked at it and saw it on the satellite, and you could see 2 black rectangles. And I thought, well, maybe that's 2 black tanks full of water. But as you can see now, this isn't really what I was expecting. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. In case you were wondering what a guzzler looks like on the inside, here's the view. There's a little bit of water in there. Actually, probably shouldn't show this to Janet. Okay, good news. after a pretty steady 10-mile-per-hour headwind. We found ourselves a little campsite hidden behind some trees, some juniper trees, I think, both of them. And we just had one little mishap, which was I forgot the Sawyer water filter at that Guzzler, so I had to go back maybe 10 minutes each way. But other than that, things are going pretty well. And we look like we're gonna have a quiet night because we have seen 0 cars today. Having an early morning today. Today we have a resupply at a place called Ikes Cabin, which is literally in the middle of nowhere, and we don't know exactly where it is the problem. I put on the map where I thought it might be, and then I asked them for the coordinates of where they're located, and they sent me some, and they're in a totally different place, about 2 hours away, maybe at least. So we're gonna go to the place where I think it was. Hopefully I got it right, because if I didn't, then we're gonna have an extra 2 hours of riding to go get our food. Still trudging along at about 5 miles an hour. Got a really soft surface here, but it's rideable. That's the good news. All right, that feels really good. You stoked to be back on a solid surface?
Yeah, it's easier to ride.
All right, we're near the top of, I guess it's called Monitor Pass, Nevada, not the one in California. And we're about to descend into the Monitor Valley up ahead. Something kind of funny just happened. I was thinking about how much I love this tour because there's nobody out here. And then I was thinking, where else could you go that there's nobody? And I thought, oh yeah, Alaska would be cool. And then I started thinking, oh, but there's a lot of bears in Alaska. And the minute I thought about the bears, I come around this turn and there's a cow lurking in the chaparral. It scared the crap out of me. Because of course I thought he was a bear. Here we are at the Potts Ranch Hot Springs. There actually used to be a tub over there for soaking, but I'm just gonna soak right here. Actually feel a little bit more natural in this pool anyway. Water is actually perfect temperature and it's super beautiful out there. All right, time to soak. All right, this turned out to be a good soak. Pretty hot, probably 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Really pretty place though. I kind of wish it was snowing. So we're gonna spend the night in luxury. We're gonna go up that road, and they bought groceries for us. So 4 days ago I wrote them and sent them a shopping list, and they went into a town, it's like 70 miles from here, and they got food for us. So not too long now and we'll be feasting again. All right, here's where we stayed in Ikes Canyon. Really good stay with Jerry and Robin. I didn't run the camera while we were visiting with them because I thought it might be kind of weird to ask them about that. So I'll just show you the stone cabin where we stayed in. So about 3 hours ago we left Ikes Canyon cabin, and we also met this guy Andrew, who's kind of went there looking to do some writing, but instead he ended up going out on a vision quest today, and he's going to be out in the wilderness for 3 days and all by himself, and he's gonna just hang out. So that's maybe even a better thing than trying to do some writing for him. Jerry and Robin were excellent hosts. I'm gonna put a link in the description where you can find out more about Ikes Cabin. Something that's kind of interesting about Jerry is that he was a professional hot air ballooner. They actually took a hot air balloon, went across the whole United States, coast to coast. They actually did it in what was a record time back then, and we can't remember how fast it was, but I think Janet said it was 3 months, and I thought it might have been 1 month. But apparently you have to take a lot of time off waiting for the weather to be right. So that was a pretty interesting story. Okay, Janet and I have crossed the Smoky Valley. Now we're heading up into the Toyabe Range, and this is Ofer Canyon, probably the hardest part of the ride. We have to go over 10,000 feet, and we're less than 6,000 right now. We're not gonna do it tonight, we're gonna do it tomorrow. Tonight we're just gonna look for water. There's supposed to be a creek called Ofer Creek here. I'm kind of looking around and I don't see any evidence of a water course, which is kind of discouraging. We're climbing up Ofer Pass and I'm a little worried. We've got 2.4 liters of water for 2 people. We don't really know where our next water is. Those willows over there might mean water. Fingers crossed. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Okay, we gotta record this moment of joy. Janet and I just heard water. So not only is there puddles, but there's actually flowing water, which is gonna be spectacular. Now I just need to find a place to camp. We can figure that out. We haven't found anywhere flat at all. This is a really, really steep canyon and super rugged. Now we're just looking for a flat spot to put the tent. Call it a day. All right, so there was nowhere to camp in this canyon. It's just too steep. So we're actually constructing a site, removing a lot of dead shrubbery, but we think we can put the tent in this little tiny spot, a little out of sight. And you can see all the dead branches we put there. That's what you have to do sometimes. All right, well, we probably spent a little too much time on this project, but we got our tent nestled in right by this little miniature waterfall. So, pretty nice place to spend the night. Good morning. This is our 40th day on the trail, climbing what's called Ofer Creek. It's really steep. Janet's gone ahead and she's carrying one of the bags, and I'm stuck with the bike here, pushing slowly, having to stop every couple feet. We made it to the top of the pass. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Janet carried the bag and I pushed. We're not gonna walk up there, even though it looks tempting.
From the top of the pass, we descended into a ghost town called Ione, the town that refused to die. From here, it was a short ride to Berlin Ichthyosaurus State Park, where we saw a whole bunch of old stuff, and some really old stuff, like the fossilized remains of dinosaurs. But visiting this place made me feel better about some of our equipment choices. That night we camped at the park, and Janet peeked ahead to see if our reality was going to be improving. And it sure looked like it would be getting easier. After crossing several mountain ranges, we had 100 flat miles coming up.
Here's Janet pushing the bike. We're going through a rough patch here. And this is like some kind of volcanic stand, and it's really reduced us down to about 1.5 miles per hour now. Janet just saw this whole herd of bighorn sheep. Good eye, Janet.
We spent the next 2 days finishing off our crossing of Nevada by bike, and we never lost sight of the fact that 2 wheels are always better than 4.